for a hike, there are so many times that I come across things that are just stunning, and it stops me in my tracks and takes my breath away, and I think, oh, I just want to paint that. I want to try and capture that vision. In doing that, really the big challenge for me is how I'm going to take that awestruck moment and apply it to a painting. And so even though my original inspiration is something that I have seen, the thing that really challenges me or gets me going on it is trying to figure out how I can interpret that and put it down onto my canvas. And working in the negative, which is what I do, I'm completely obsessed with it, it's looking at something and say, okay, now how am I going to play my game with this? We look at other people's paintings and we can emulate that, but I want to do something that's different, and just the way that I envision it and the way that I work it out, what kind of strategy can I have? And I get asked that often about subject matter as to, will this only work with patterns in nature or florals or landscapes? What else can you do with it? And as soon as somebody asks me that, then that's like charge. Let's figure out what else we can do to make this work. And playing the game is really my big inspiration. I think it's such a joy to paint and put color down, and just the thrill, the action of hitting the canvas or the paper with color and playing with it. And playing is a big term these days that people talk about when it comes to color and painting. But in my experience, when I just go in and throw paint at a canvas, I'm not satisfied with the results of that. So yes, it's very loose and it's very playful, but I need something more than that. And I have discovered for myself that when I wanted to loosen up, I actually needed to get really tight with it so that I learned the shapes that I was seeing. I memorized them visually as well as I trained my hand to make the shapes that I'm after. And thinking about the colors that I'm going to use beforehand, having a strategy, whether it's that I'm going to make my changes according to the color or the value or the intensity. Again, what's my game plan on this? Going in with that decision before I start, before I hit the paper with color, I have to know what I'm doing. And when I go in with that kind of confidence, oh, that's the best way to loosen up, is to do it. And then you end up with some kind of result that you're happy with, instead of just some kind of color riot or massive paint. And even though you've had a really great time and you've got loose, what's the end result? And how do you take it from there? So I think my best advice to somebody who wants to loosen up is think and plan before you paint, even if you just take a few minutes to think about the shapes that you're going to make and your color choices before you get yourself into trouble. And then you say, well, what am I going to do? And you start rummaging through your paints and making up for not having any decisions. So yeah, go in, think first before you go in. I'm at home right now. I'm having just a blast working on some birds. It's something actually that I started working on as a child. My very first painting that I ever did in a class, I think I was probably about 6 years old, was a little bird. So I've returned back to that. Now, of course, I'm stylizing them. I'm working with my strategies of negative painting and building them up. I'm having so much fun studying that and again, drawing them out meticulously and then painting them in a very typical positive fashion before I can make that shift over. So I have been working through a series of that. The other thing that I'm doing right now is I'm working on mylar, sheets of mylar with the acrylic, lots of really cool textures that I can create with that, and then building up the layers. It's a super smooth kind of surface, so the paint really flows and I can make lots of interesting textures with it. I've been doing some portrait work, which is really fun, challenging for me, and that's something I'm still struggling with. But yeah, there's lots of great ideas. Been introducing a little bit of oil into the mix, which is a whole new direction. I haven't worked with oils since I was a teenager, so yeah, there's lots and lots of stuff ahead. There's never a loss of inspiration and ideas and things to experiment with, and yeah, just keep painting away. That's what I love to do most.